go till 5 in the morning. I caught you yawning. Yeah.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's wig is from B Fashion Store on Amazon. My wig was packaged very well, and they sent me their card with their information along with a wig cap. I got a 4x4 closure wig in 20 inches, and it is a body wave texture. This is the construction of the cap. It has 3 combs and adjustable straps, and this is how the lace looks up close and up against my skin. So for today's style, I wanted to dye my wig jet black. So I went in with this Got To Be Glued freeze spray, and I sprayed that all along the closure. I basically soaked the knots on the closure with the Got To Be, and then I blow dried them completely until the closure was like stiff. And to dye my wig, I'm going to use the watercolor method. So I'm going to use these 2 Adore dyes in jet black and royal navy. And I'm going to start with one dye, and I'm just going to use my dye brush to mix this jet black dye into some boiling hot water. You can let your water cool down a little bit, but I find that hot water works better. After I've mixed in all the jet black dye, I'm going to go in with the royal navy dye, and I did use the full bottle for each color, and I'm going to mix that in. I'm going to make sure there are no clumps left in the water, and then next I'm just going to dunk my wig in, and I'm just going to keep like dunking it in and pulling it out and dunking it in. And it's okay to put the closure in the water, because the Got To Be is going to help protect the knots from the dye getting on them and staining the lace. Along with dunking the wig in, I did also brush the dye through the wig just to make sure that it coated all the strands, because I didn't really want any brown hairs to be showing. So I like dunk it in and just brush it through and make sure that there's no dye like sticking to any one part of the wig. Once I feel like I've dunked it enough times, I let the wig sit for at least 5 minutes in the water, and then I washed it out. This is how the lace looks after I've washed all of the dye out. As you can see, I did stain my lace a little bit because my Got To Be was not completely dry like I thought it was. So you want to make sure that your Got To Be is completely dry and not sticky at all before you dye your wig. Next, I'm going to bleach my knots using 40 volume developer and bleaching powder, and I just mixed those 2 together and made a very thick paste. I didn't measure it or use any specific scoops. I would say like 1 scoop to like a cap full of developer, if that helps. And then I used a butter knife to just evenly spread that bleach onto my closure. The butter knife helps me to smooth it evenly so that I don't push it through and bleach the hair on accident. After washing my wig with shampoo and conditioner, this is how everything was looking. As you can see, the lace is no longer stained with that dye. All I did was bleach the knots. I didn't do anything outside of that, and there was no more dye on my lace. And then quickly I just went in and like plucked my wig, and I did want to show you guys just a little bit of how I pluck my wigs. I like to separate my hair in small sections and just pluck gently at first, and then kind of speed up when I get comfortable. And I basically just don't stay in one spot when I pluck. I do plan on making like a detailed plucking tutorial outside of this video, but I did want to include this as part of the customization that I did to this closure unit. So like I said, all I did was just pluck a little bit of hair, and then I would comb through just to see how much I plucked. And then if I feel like I need to pluck more, I'll just continue to pluck until I get like the desired look. And then once I finish, I'm going to show you the difference between the 2 sides. I like to pluck just a little bit so that it has like more of a natural hairline and it's not too dense. So that's kind of what I was going for this time around. So once I comb the hair back, you can see that it's not as thick on the side that I plucked versus the side that I didn't pluck. So moving on to the wig install, this is what it looks like after I've customized it. And I'm just going to go in with my powdered foundation and my Ebin tinted lace spray in medium brown, and I'm going to add those both to the lace. And this is what that looks like after that is done. When I was putting the wig on, I did realize that it was too small for my head. I have a medium cap size head. I would say this one is more of the small cap size. I will put the inches on the screen so that you guys can know the difference. I started out by spraying heat protectant on my hair, and then I went in with my wax stick to hot comb the top of my wig just to get everything flat. Like I said, the wig was too small, but I really wanted to make it work and just make it look as natural as possible. So to begin the install, I'm going to go ahead and clean off my forehead using some alcohol, and then I'm going to go in with my Ghost Bond glue and put that along the areas that I want to glue the wig down, and I'm just going to evenly spread that out with a popsicle stick. You want to make sure that each layer of glue that you use is evenly spread so that it dries evenly. Once I was finished applying that first layer, I blow dried it until it was clear, and then I went in with a second layer of glue and I followed the same steps. Once I applied both layers and they were dry and clear, I went ahead and pulled my closure down on top of exactly where I put that glue. And then I used my comb to press my lace into the glue and comb my hair back out of the way at the same time. And once I felt like I had combed it enough, I just kind of blow dried it a little bit before tying on my elastic band to melt the lace into my skin. So I kept my elastic band on for about 10 to 15 minutes, and during this time I just went through and flat ironed my hair. And this is when I kind of noticed that the hair was a little bit thinner than 150% density. I would say that it's more on like a naturally thin side, like a natural density. I'd say maybe like 130%. And since I was going for a more natural look, I just kind of decided that I would cut it into like a long bob so that I could still achieve like a natural look with this natural density. So I went ahead and took my elastic band off, and then I used my eyebrow razor to cut my lace. Next, I went in with this olive oil mega moisture mousse to do my baby hairs, but I didn't really like how the mousse was holding my baby hairs. I should have combined it with gel because they just would not stay in place. So if you do use mousse, I would say use like an Eco Styler or Wetline Extreme Gel, or you can use like Got2b gel, or if you don't want to use gel at all, you can use hairspray. But I kept having to like re-swoop them before tying my elastic band back on. To help hold the baby hairs in place and melt my lace further, I went in with my Ebin Wonder Lace Bond adhesive spray, and I just sprayed that like right along the hairline and then a little bit on the baby hairs. Then I put my elastic band back on for about 10 minutes and I just left it on while I styled my hair. So I did want to wear my hair in the middle part, and I kind of over bleached the knots in some areas. So in order to clean up my part, I just went in with this High Beams black hairspray, and I just sprayed it along my part, and then I went in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color Toffee. And this step just helps me make my part pop a little bit more and also match it with my skin tone. So after about 10 minutes, I went ahead and took off my elastic band, and this is when I began to cut my hair. I wanted like a blunt cut that was like even when it was brought to the front, but kind of like longer in the middle when it's all in the back. I don't really know like the name of that specific cut, but this is exactly how I cut my hair. Like I literally just cut it straight across, and I kind of cut it to where it was the thickest before like the hair started to really get thin. And the cut doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, because once you bump the ends, It's not as noticeable if it's like uneven. If you wanted it to be blunt cut all the way around, like in the back as well, you probably would have to have someone help you with that, because it's pretty difficult to cut like the back of your hair evenly. But after I did my cut, I just bumped the ends, and like I said, I wanted to leave the middle portion of like the back of my head longer so that it kind of made the U shape in the back. I hope I'm explaining that well enough for you guys to understand. If I can find like a picture of what I'm trying to say, then I will insert it on the screen. But if not, then I hope you guys kind of like get it. Once I was finished styling the hair, I went off camera and did my hair and makeup, and this is how the look turned out. I really like how natural it looked. Like, I like the fact that it was like a natural density, and cutting it into like this long bob, just it gave me like silk press vibes. And the hair was like very soft and flowy. I didn't get much shedding. I didn't get any tangling at all. Like, this hair does not tangle, and it rubbed all against the back of my shirt, and I did not have to worry about tangling at all or brushing it throughout the day. I didn't experience like hair falling all over the place, and it just had a lot of movement and body, and it just flowed really well. Like, I really like that about this hair. I also like that the knots bleached well and they bleached evenly. They're not like super big either, and I feel like that made customizing this unit even easier. Let me know what you guys think about this unit in the comment section. I will leave all the information about this wig in the description box, so make sure you check that out. Thank you, Be Fashion, for sending me this wig to review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.